What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about the first hybrid meme coin project on BaseChain, which is CHONK and THICC. Now, this project gives investors the best of both worlds. If you're one of those people that's just more into buying and selling tokens, they have that for you. If you're one of those people that's more into the NFT world, they have that for you. Or you can take advantage of both. And so we're going to be talking about kind of how all of this correlates together. Now, some of you may be thinking this is probably an ERC-404 project where it's actually different. And we're going to talk about how it's actually different. This project actually has the token attached to the NFT and the NFT attached to the token. Because when you look at token projects that launch NFTs or NFT projects that launch tokens, there's always a big discrepancy between the token price and the NFT price, which in some ways kind of divides the community. Well, this project has figured out how to keep them attached, and we're going to talk about how they're doing that. So when you look at NFTs, you always have a problem with them being illiquid. And why is that? Because you can list an NFT for whatever price you want. Someone has to be willing to pay for that. Whereas with the token, you have market makers, so you can always sell out of that token, right? And so now they've attached these two mechanisms. And so what they have done is, for people that's wanting to hold an NFT, right? And say, for example, you want to sell that NFT and you want to sell it now because you can't potentially sell it on the open market, or you don't want to wait for someone to buy it on the NFT open market. There's an underlying value that's going to be with every single NFT, and that's because every NFT has a certain amount of tokens allocated towards it. And what that does is, whatever that token value is, that's going to be the underlying value of that NFT, because every token has every NFT has the same amount of tokens allocated towards it, which goes into how the tokenomics works for this full project. All right, so I know I just said a lot, but this will start to make more sense to you as we go deeper into this video. So I'm going to briefly show you the chart of the CHONK token, and their second token launches tomorrow. They have two NFT collections and they have two tokens, and that's because the token is attached to the NFT and the NFT is attached to the token. So each NFT collection has its own token, and every token has its own NFT collection attached to it, which is why there's two of each. So hopefully that makes sense. But if we look at CHONK, which is the token that's out right now, you can see the current market cap still fairly low, 345K, over 1,200 holders. And you can see this project launched March 30th. So this project is literally a month old. Now, one thing I do want to say, even though it looks like a downward triangle, right? It looks like we can see something like this potentially and come right up out of that triangle. You know what I'm saying? However, with it being a hybrid type project, I do think it's going to take some time for this narrative and for this mechanism on how this project works to kind of catch, right? For people to kind of understand it and see that value in it, right? And that's because this is something completely new. This isn't like a 404 project, which let me show you what they actually have to say about that. To those wondering, this is not an ERC-404 project. Instead, the best way to describe it is as a collateralized NFT that has a redeemable liquid value at any time by locking your NFT in a two-way escrow swap contract. With this mechanism, the floor price of the NFTs will correlate with the price of the tokens, as each NFT held by wallets has a liquid value attached to it. And in the midst of all of this, additionally, the NFT collection will become hyperdeflationary over time as users elect to lock up their NFTs and claim the corresponding tokens in return. So there's a lot to kind of break down in this project, but that's coming from the project itself, telling you how this is completely different from a 404 project. You will always have an underlying value for your NFT. Now, that doesn't mean you can't sell your NFT on the open NFT market. However, if you want to sell it for liquid fast, you can do it inside of the CHONK ecosystem. So let me go to the website here. And the THICC NFTs have also sold out. And as you can see, their THICC token for the THICC NFTs comes out tomorrow. So we don't know the contract address for that as of yet. Oh, make sure you read this, right? The THICC NFTs are sold out. The token is not live yet, won't go live till tomorrow, and there's no airdrop or pre-sale, okay? So don't, fall for any scams. Now, as you can see, Chunk says the first NFT token hybrid ecosystem built on Base. Now, here are the two NFTs. You have Chunk and you have THICC, and you have tokens to go along with them. Now, remember, Chunk is out, which is the chart we just took a look at right here. And we have THICC, which comes out tomorrow. Now, here's the total supply of Chunk, total supply of THICC. Now, here's the OpenSea NFTs for Chunk. As you can see, 1.24 ETH. And remember this, because I'm going to kind of talk about this in this video, kind of breaking down how there's going to be some type of an arbitrage between the two as well, depending on how you want to play this. And then here's THICCs, which recently just sold out. And as you can see, floor price is not as high as Chunk as of yet, right? So again, remember, these NFTs all have a certain amount of tokens that are attached to them. So if you're wanting to deposit them into the Chunk tank here or the THICC tank, that's how you get these NFTs. So let's briefly explain this real quick. So for Chunk, there's 1,000 NFTs. For THICC, there's only 1,420 NFTs. Now, for each Chunk NFT, there's a little bit over 420 million tokens attached to it, right? So for example, if we head over to the Chunk tank, you're gonna see if you're wanting to sell your NFT right now for liquid, the token value, that 420 million, is around $341 right now. Okay. Now remember, I told you to remember this. People are listing it. The lowest price for one of these NFTs is 1.24 ETH, right? Well, if we go over to CoinMarketCap and we type that in, 1.24 ETH, that's basically $4,000 for an NFT. Right? So again, just because a person has it listed for this doesn't mean someone will pay that. And this is where the illiquid comes in. And this is how this project has changed the game with this. Because when you go back over here, you don't have to sell it on the NFT market. You have the ability to, which you probably can get more depending on how things work. But if you're using the ecosystem of Chunk, this is what helps keep the community together, because typically, as I said before, if you have a token project that launches an NFT or an NFT project that launches a token, there's a major discrepancy between the price between the two, which in a way kind of, separates the community of the project. Well, with this project, they've kind of dealt away with that. And that's because you can always sell your NFTs or basically deposit it into the ecosystem of Chunk or THICC. And there's a certain amount of tokens that always are allocated for that NFT, which is how the tokenomics works, which means then if you want to sell those tokens, you can, right? And so this is how they're always making the NFTs liquid. So again, deposit your Chunk NFT to claim 690,000 Chunk tokens per NFT. Now, if you want to get that NFT back, you have to pay the same amount of tokens that the NFT gives you when you go to deposit it, on top of a 3% fee. And this is pretty dope for the Chunk side, because that 3% fee is going to burn the Chunk token permanently over time, making that token deflationary. Now, the same thing works with THICC. However, that 3% is actually going to THICC rewards, whereas NFT holders, they can win weekly prizes. And if we go over here, this is how that breaks down. First place, 50%, second place, 30%, third place, 20%, right? And each NFT equals one entry. And so that's how the THICC rewards will work. So the THICC token, you are able to get rewards. The Chunk token, it gets burned. So you can see they have two different mechanisms going on. And again, both NFT collections are out. The THICC token comes out tomorrow. So again, to sum it all up, the hybrid NFT token model creates a two-way swapping mechanism, allowing users to exchange NFTs for tokens and vice versa, making the NFTs liquid and redeemable for a cash value at any time. Even more importantly, it makes both NFT collections deflationary, as users lock up their NFTs in the tank in order to claim their tokens. And then again, as I was talking about earlier, you have those arbitrage opportunities, right? Because again, you can still sell these on the open NFT market on OpenSea, of course, but again, you don't have to, because you have an entire ecosystem designed for your NFTs. And as the token increases in price, so will the value of the underlying asset, because remember, there's a certain amount of tokens allocated for each NFT, right? And so as the value goes up, so will the underlying asset of the NFT, making what you can cash out on that NFT even more over time, right? And so this is where the hybrid system comes in. Now you can find all of the official contract addresses on the website, and I will have all of the main addresses in the description as well, so you can get to the right thing also. But I'm curious to hear what you think. And also, as I said, as we were looking at the chart, I think this is going to be more so of a longer type hold because of how the project is designed. And I do think it's going to take some time for people to kind of understand how this works and start to see that value in it, because it is tackling two different worlds, the NFT world as well as the meme coin token world as well. So again, this project is the first to do it on BaseChain. With the growth that's coming to BaseChain, gives it that first mover advantage, which can definitely be good for CHONK and THICC. So again, let me know down in the comment section, what do you think about CHONK? What do you think about THICC? Are you already a holder? And then for those looking to figure out, this is their current Twitter page, to make sure you have the right one. I will also have this down in the description as well. So again, let me know down in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you all on Wednesday.